Hello guys, welcome to Major's Garage. This is Suellio. I'm the crew chief for the Formula 1, Formula 3 and Formula 3.5 here at Major's Garage. We're gonna see my lap here at Okayama. The lap time was 1:16.401. So let's go straight to the first corner. It's a pretty short braking zone here. We want to brake around the we want to begin braking around when we see the skid marks here. These are my braking reference. I brake quite hard on a straight line, but then almost immediately, you see that I'm going for maybe some cars of length here, but then I'm immediately starting to churn. I want to almost touch the end of the curb here. If you touch it, it's okay. I was able to carry enough speed, not touching, just going over the white line. Maybe this is slightly safer, I would say, but you can touch it if you want. And we want to be quite aggressive on the throttle. We want to go around 80% immediately, and then we go progressively to 100% after that. So we really need to bring our car as soon as possible to the right here before we start turning, because I want to be parallel to this white line before I start turning, so we have a easier line for the second corner here. So here I'm lifting, and then if you need to point the car a little bit more, you can drag like 1 to 5% brake pressure, just to keep the fronts a little bit grippier. But you can see that quite earlier here I'm already trying to get back on the throttle. I was a little bit too early, so I had to hesitate here. I lifted a little bit again, and then I went aggressively to around, let's say, 90%. Yeah, 85-90%, and then we go back to 100% here. For this next corner, my reference is the beginning of this damaged grass here. You can see that I start braking well, let's see, a little bit before, but that's my visual reference, so I'm probably sometimes braking a little bit closer. But if you go a little bit too late here, it's okay. This corner has many possible lines, but this is my reference here. You can see that here I'm braking quite aggressively. I'm braking around 95%. Then immediately decreasing the brakes as I turn in, and then quite aggressively on the throttle. You see that I don't need to use the entire track here. And then for the hairpin, the downshift is quite important here for me, especially using my setup. You can see that I will brake quite aggressively, but I'm not going to downshift immediately. I'm gonna wait a little bit before I start downshifting. Let's see that. So you can see that I'm actually braking for a long time on 6th gear. 6th, I maintain the 6th, and then I start downshifting 5, 4, 3, 2, quite aggressively. If you need more rotation, you can downshift to first. I don't remember if this was the case. Yeah, it was the case. I downshifted to first here. But then before you get back to the throttle again, it's very important that you upshift to second. Like here, I already upshifted to second before getting back on the throttle, because the first gear is a little bit too dangerous to get back on the throttle. So again, I brake quite hard on a very, very, very straight line. I can see here that I'm actually reaching 100% brakes, but then immediately I'm already releasing it. And then I maintain a little bit on 6th gear, then I downshift to second, I turn in, I realize that I need a little bit more rotation, and then I downshift to first. Sometimes when you get enough rotation, you can maintain the second. And remember, the first gear is just for extra rotation, not for the exit. For the exit, you want to upshift again to the second gear. So here for this exit, be a little bit patient before getting back on the throttle. You don't want to actually go wide to the left there. You want to keep your car to at least to the middle of the track here, because we want to quickly bring the car back to the right here, so we can prepare this next corner. For the next corner, we're braking quite light here, but it's important that we're braking a little bit more on entry, and then we're releasing the brakes as we turn into the corner. We don't want to maintain a constant brake pressure. And I also want, as soon as possible, to get on the brakes. As soon as I hit the curb, I want to be already dragging some throttle, not dragging, like pressing a little bit the throttle, so I can already push the car forward here. Still in second gear, a little bit careful here, not to oversteer. Then third gear, but then quickly I downshift to second again. The same thing, I brake a little bit quicker, a little bit harder on the beginning, but then I'm only releasing the brakes. And then again, second gear, progressive throttle, and then I go for third gear. For the hairpins, it's very important that we have a slightly late entry. So I brake quite late, and I want to turn in a way that my car is really pointed a lot to the exit after the second half of the curb. So it's slightly late apex here. Then I want to really push my car forward here. You don't need to bring the car too much to the left because there's no time for that. You gain more time if you actually push the car forward with the power that it has. And then again, second gear here, very progressive steering. We want to be very progressive. As our speed decreases, we increase our steering angle. We need to prevent the car from understeering here. It's very important that we don't understeer here. Again, slightly later apex. As you can see, I'm actually riding the curb until the end, and then I'm getting back on the throttle. Here, this penultimate corner, I think we can do on full throttle, but I probably will not do that in the race. So I would say I prefer to show how I would do. This is a safer way, just slight lifting, not to induce a lot of oversteer here. You can see it's just a little bit of lifting. It is possible to go flat out, but it's not that easy, and I wouldn't do that during the race. And then this one, third gear, quite 90 degrees corner, I would say, almost. We want to brake, but there's no time for braking on a straight line. I brake, but immediately I'm already releasing the brakes and turning. I go third gear, quite aggressively on the throttle here. We can use this green. Be careful with the gravel only, but yeah, even if you put like one tire on the gravel, you're not gonna take an off track, but I think the actual danger here is spinning. So be careful with that, but you can really use this green completely. And yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you next week.